Hello, my name is Casey Hirsch. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, author, and founder of LightYourSparkle.life. I'm very excited today to be spending some time with Mary Sise. For over 2 decades, Mary has been a leading voice in advancing the field of energy psychology. In addition to being traditionally trained as a licensed clinical social worker, Mary integrates energy psychology methods into her practice and has trained hundreds of clinicians in these methods. She's earned her Diplomate in comprehensive energy psychology. Mary has pioneered methodologies and techniques while also advocating for expanding clinical understanding about the integral interrelationship of the mind, body, and spirit in the healing paradigm. She presents at conferences and develops training and coursework, especially in the areas of releasing negative beliefs, healing trauma and dissociation, and the role and responsibilities of the healer. Mary is past president of the Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology, the international professional organization dedicated to training, research, and humanitarian work. In 2007, Mary co-authored the book, The Energy of Belief: Psychology's Power Tools to Focus Intention and Release Blocking Beliefs. This is a self-help book for the general public to learn how to use energy psychology methods of touch and breath, TAB. In 2020, to serve during the pandemic, Mary created a program called Tapping the Panic Out of Pandemic. This is simple and user-friendly, comes as an ebook, and demystifies tapping and the brain. It's now available on Kindle. In addition, Mary has been offering free Tapping Tuesdays and another program to help those impacted by COVID-19 quickly learn how to calm down their survival brain, tap into their intuition, and fearlessly navigate these uncertain times. Mary maintains a practice in Albany, New York, and I'm very excited to speak with her today and talk about energy psychology. Hello, Mary.
Hi, Casey. Thank you for having me. It's my joy to be here with everyone.
Thanks for being here. So can you show us, just a little tapping exercise. So for someone who comes into your office, or me, for example, and I'm a little anxious, maybe a lot anxious, not really knowing what that feels like to calm down the nervous system, what are some just simple tools that we could do here and maybe people could take home and they could try doing some tapping right away?
There's many different ways to do tapping. The simplest one is the one I like that I've been teaching on the Tapping Tuesdays, and it's in Tapping the Panic Out of Pandemic. And it's very, very simple. And there's other ones that involve eye movements, and there's ones, there's all sorts of energy psychology methods. Some of them hold the front and back of the head. Some of them work with the chakras. I mean, oh my gosh, there's so much you can choose from, and it's really fun. So anyone who's a therapist out there, look up ASAP, and get in there and learn how to do some of these things for your clients and for yourself. You'll feel great. And it helps totally. You don't get burnt out as a therapist. And that's awesome for therapists. So that's what, but the one I like to do when I'm working like this, when I don't have you in front of me, and is the one that doesn't use the eye movements. Mostly because, in my experience, I've seen that oftentimes when we start moving the eyes around, sometimes a trauma can come in, which is great if we're working together and you're my client and I've got you and we'll move it through. But it's not so great if you're across the country and I don't even know you on the phone or something. So I like the eye movement ones with a therapist, and I invite everybody to practice with those and use those too. But the simplest one would be this one. So the way you do it is you have to be thinking about what you're upset about. Okay. So if you and I are talking about your new car or your next vacation, you're not stressed out. You're not on the thought that's stressing you out. But if you and I start talking about something that's got you stressed out, if you want to give me something simple, we can do that. Can you think of something that just stressed you out?
Yeah. Let's getting a test result back that's not good.
Okay. So what you would do is you say you just got one. Okay. Or for now, you can imagine getting one back, or from the doctor or something, okay? Or I know, do the one where they gave you your diagnosis. I bet you can still remember that day. You got that one? That's a real one. Okay.
Got it.
Okay. So something like that. if you think about that day when you got this diagnosis you didn't want to get, most people can remember the day they got diagnosed with something, right? Okay, it's a trauma. So if you think about it, breathe into your body, feel your body. Where does your body hold the distress?
Definitely in my stomach.
In your stomach. And on a scale of 0 to 10, right now, not when you first got the diagnosis, but right now, how high is it? 10 means I'm like freaking out over here.
I would say it's probably about a 4.
About a 4, okay? And you feel it in your stomach.
I feel it in my stomach.
Okay. And if it could speak, what would it like say to us? What do you think it would say?
Let me out of here. That's not true.
It's not true. Like, no, it's like screaming no. Right.
Definitely screaming, no.
No, no, no. Okay, cool. And it's at a 4 right now. We just got more into it, so it may have gone up or it may have gone down. What's it at?
I would say it's gone up a little bit. The more I think about it and let it in. So
Right.
let's say now it's climbed to a 6.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Now, this is extra, but you can tell me. Can you still see yourself there in the diagnosis? Can you still see what you were wearing?
Cannot see what I'm wearing. I can see the doctor very clearly.
Okay, cool. All right, that's interesting. We'll check in with that later. Okay, so the first thing you do is tap the side of your hand, like this. Yep. Okay, and you just accept this is where you are. So even though I'm screaming no, say that. So you say what I'm saying 3 times. You're gonna say it. Even though I'm screaming no, and I don't want this to be, I accept myself.
Even though I'm screaming no and I don't want this to be, I'm accepting myself.
So you can say, even though I'm resisting this diagnosis, I accept myself.
Even though I'm resisting this diagnosis, I accept myself.
Even though I'm resisting this, I don't want it to be, I accept myself. You just accept, here's where you are, okay? So say that. Even make it up. You can make it up. If you don't like what I say, make your own up.
Even though I'm resisting this diagnosis, this is where I am and I accept myself.
Accept myself. Cool. All right, now we're going to tap on it. So you're going to tap the inside of your eye, where your eye, like your eyebrow, right on your eyebrow by the inside of your eye. Yeah. You're going to tap the side of your eye. You're going to tap under your eyes, a little bit higher, like on the socket of, yeah. You're going to tap under your nose. And you're going to tap under your lip. You're going to tap under your arms 4 inches. For women, yeah, it's like on the side of your body.
Kind of like the bra line, maybe?
Yep. For women, it's on your bra strap. Men, you're on your own. Okay? And wait, man, did it wrong. You do this one before that one, but I forgot. You do this one, collarbone, under your arm. Now do under your arm. Good news is it's not like brain surgery. You can screw it up, it still works. And then back up here, make your hands like a laser, and then tap the top of your head, the middle of your head where your crown is. Okay, now take a big breath for your body. And go back to that day in the doctor's office. I think you were a 5 or a 6 you were getting up to when we got you on it. What do you notice about that? Is it more intense, less intense, same intensity?
Well, I definitely noticed that the holding, as soon as we brought it up, my stomach, like, I could feel it kind of tighten a little. And now I feel like I'm breathing. So there's some opening that's happened in my stomach.
Okay. And you could really see the doctor's face. Is that still in your face? Does that look the same?
I see the white coat, but I don't see the face quite. It's like, I have to, like, where is it? Not quite as close to me.
Okay. And distress level, is it still 4, 5, 6? What would you say it's at?
Boy, I would say it really feels like it's come down. So maybe a 3 or a 2.
Okay, cool. If it could tell us something now, what's it saying? We were saying no before. What's it saying now?
Ooh, I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. It's okay.
Okay, that's the good news. What's that way? Then you'd be at 0. You're at a 2. What's the 2 saying?
What if? What if?
Are you sure?
What if there's something else there? What if?
Okay, cool. All right, so now you just accept that's where I am.
Okay.
Even though I'm a little afraid to chill out, I accept myself.
Even though I'm a lot afraid to chill out.
Totally chill out about this. I accept myself. Even though I'm like a little afraid, like I always have to be on my guard, I accept myself. That's your thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Even though the part of me is just afraid to go to zero, I accept myself.
Mm-hmm.
You got to say it.
Even though there's a part of me that's afraid to go to zero, I accept myself.
Exactly.
Even if there's a part of me that has to hold on to the what ifs, I accept myself.
Yeah. Even though it was a good idea to hold on to the what ifs when I was a little girl, I accept myself.
Even though it was a good idea to hold on to the what ifs when I was a little girl, I accept myself.
And I want my little girl to know it's okay to go to zero.
I want my little girl to know that it's okay to go to zero.
See, because you won't go to zero if you won't allow it. Mm-hmm. So it served you as a kid, so be grateful for that. But is it really serving you now? No. So it's okay to go to zero. Don't worry, you have an amygdala in there. It will fire if something's going on that you need to pay attention to. You don't need to keep it like a pilot light always on, ready to roar. All right, let's tap again. Now we go eyebrows. So the biggest thing is you accept where you are, side of your eyes. And then you activate you just accept that, and now you're activating your meridian system. Nose. And your lip, under your lip, your collarbone, under your arm, 4 inches. And I usually use my fist because that one's usually very tender. This is flea meridian, and it's a lot of where fear of the future is, or it's okay to relax. And oftentimes it's tender. If you poke around, you'll go like, ooh, that hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I could feel a little bit of tenderness for sure.
Yeah. Okay, and then back up here, all 4 of your fingers tapping the top of your head. Okay, deep breath. Now go back. You're in the doctor's office. He's telling you, part of you is upset. Tell me what's happening in your body. Tell me what's happening in the scene.
The scene's harder to picture.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely harder to picture. It's not like right in front of me like it was. Yeah. I feel like I'm less tense in general. I actually feel like this was releasing something that maybe was even before our session just now. Like I feel better than I did when I started the session with you also.
Cool.
So maybe there was a double whammy in there. Who knows?
Go for it. Get your money's worth.
Yeah, and I feel like I just feel more comfortable in general when I start thinking about just getting a diagnosis or getting a test result or finding out what it's like to have someone tell you that.
Yeah. So on a scale of 0 to 10, where is it at?
Boy, I'd have to say I think I'm at a 0.
Cool. The cool part is you can't see it anymore. When it's a trauma, which is like any diagnosis, like you get a diagnosis of cancer, anything like that, it's a trauma. You can still see yourself there because part of you still is there. It's like a shock. You're saying no, okay? Anytime you're in a car accident, anytime you're have surgery, these COVID, these doctors, these nurses, what they're going through with this, they're all being traumatized, okay? And they can still remember it. Just like when you tapped into it, you weren't remembering it, you were reliving it. You were there. You could still see him, right? A lot of times people can say, I can still tell you what I was wearing. Then you know you're there, okay? Because like, if I say to you, well, what were you wearing last Tuesday? You got to think about it. Like, did I wear this last week for that meeting? Like, you have to think about your outfits. But if it's a trauma, you've got the outfit, okay? And because you don't remember it, you relive it. And then that interferes, and it's like a ribbon between that part of you and this part of you here. And that energy is like always there. And then something comes and triggers it, and you feel it, you see? And it's because that part of you is still there. Now that part of you is here with you here. How do you feel in your whole body right now?
I feel much more, I hate to overuse the word integrated, but I feel like I'm actually like pieced together when you mentioned let's talk about the incident. It did feel like for a moment there, it was like whoosh, like I sort of just went like back to the future, just right there in it. And that's when I noticed there was some tensing and a little bit of, uh-oh, here we are. And the feelings, a little bit of the feelings started to come at me, because I really remembered the feelings and what that was like to get that information.
So integrated is exactly the right word. Part of you is there, part of you is here. Now that part there is here. And how you should feel is like more solid. Like when I bring parts back, when I do parts work with it, this is my favorite thing to do with the tapping or with anything, is to get those parts that you left in your childhood and bring them to today. And then you feel, the people would be like, oh my God, I'm here. Like I'm really here. And they feel solid and they look solid energetically. They look solid in front of me. People who are like really airy and they don't have their feet in the ground, and it's because part of them is somewhere else. Yeah.
It's sort of like that climbing back into your body. It's that feeling of, okay, I was out of my body, now I'm climbing back into it, and now I can calm down a little bit because I'm here. There's nothing wrong right now. Right here, I'm here.
Right. But when you have part of you still back in a diagnosis, or part of you back in a traumatic incident, or it's just the hallmark of trauma. Part of you stays there. It's like, leave that guy behind. We got to get up the next morning and go to school. We got to do that. But part of you is still there. And so when you do this work with people and they come back to here, it's like they're here. And to me, that's my favorite kind of work to do, was that. Mm-hmm.
Well, and it makes sense too, because if someone is holding on to that trauma of getting the first diagnosis, but then someone like myself who has autoimmune illness, and it's not unusual to have, other diagnoses come in, or to get a bad test result or things like that, I think that the trauma becomes layered. So that initial trauma then you have another trauma that stacks on top of it. And until you go back and work on that first trauma, it really starts to help. But I'd imagine people also could intervene with these techniques, wherever they're at that moment, whether or not they go backwards or not. It's just where the person's at and meeting them where they're at with what they're bringing.
Exactly. And I always figure that the one that you're bringing to me like now is the next one to come in. So I just take what you come in with and reweave it, bring that part back. Yeah.
Mary, it has been so fun. I could spend so much more time with you. It's been an awesome time to just, talk to you about these things. And for people who are eager to learn more, maybe participate in some of your trainings, where can they go find more about your work?
Right on my website, Mary Sise, Sise, it's easy, marysise.com. So all the information's there. There's things they can free download things and charts and things they can get from there. Free Tapping Tuesdays, at least for a while. We're going to continue to do that while this COVID thing is hanging out, and we're having fun with it. So, yeah. So, and anyone's a therapist, come and train, have to be supervised, whatever we can do to serve you. That's my joy.
Great. Thank you so much.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much.